It's no use!
It started 2 years ago. The game was so bad. I had to stop. Then last year, I tried again, only to make a final promise.
Before anybody starts being smart and asking me about the Silver campaign and the final chapter, I took a year break between Sonic and Shadow. So, Season 3. Okay. Like, I hate to make that promise, but Season 3.
No more. It ends today.
To say that you and I have history is an understatement. You have beaten me twice already. But you know what? Today, this ends. You're going down. This is it. This is the finale. This is... I'm talking to a fucking game, aren't I?
For the uninitiated, this is the third episode in my long-running battle with Sonic the Hedgehog's jump onto Xbox 360 and PS3, aka Sonic 06. If you want to see my thoughts on the Sonic and Shadow campaigns, there's a link in the bio for you to check out to both videos. This video, however, is going to focus on Silver's campaign and, last but certainly not least, the final chapter.
Before I start this torture, I've got to get in the right headspace. Please, camera lady. Yep, okay, I've just lost about 1,000 brain cells. Let's go.
It's been 2 years since I started this, and each time it hurts like hell to do it. The Silver campaign starts out with, well, magical floating. Yeah, this guy is quite literally a DeviantArt OC personified, right down to silly telekinesis powers. Unlike Sonic, who uses speed, or Shadow and his mid-air kung fu, Silver pulls and pushes objects with his unexplained magical powers. That's his gimmick. Physics.
One of the more relevant criticisms I got from my Season 1 and Season 2 episodes on this game was that I didn't mention the physics provided graciously by the Havoc engine. Did you ever wonder if there was a reason for that?
Sure, I could have whinged in the other videos about how the rings go in every conceivable direction, and I've definitely touched on the physics malfunctioning and causing deaths, but man, I held off on the big rant until I got around to the chapters focusing on Silver. His whole playstyle and gimmick is, well, physics again. Silver grabs objects and projectiles to use as weapons, throwing them back at foes. It's not great. He can also float for short distances, which is also not great, but it does eliminate a lot of the platforming woes from the Sonic and Shadow chapters.
Kind of. For now, I'm going to focus on the Silver storyline and what it brings to the table.
Short answer, not much. It starts out in the buggiest, most prone to malfunction stage in the game, Crisis City. Silver's part of this level is... meh? I mean, it's honestly not that offensive compared to some of the other shit this game has thrown at me. Sure, it'll bug out on occasion, and the usual bad level design is here, but oh god, this is coming out of my mouth.
Silver, in comparison to the guests in his campaign, isn't that bad. Just let that sink in as a statement. Just absorb that to your soul.
This is Blaze the Cat. This is why we can't have nice things. She's so slippery that I'm 90% sure she bathes in crude oil. Her controls are so loose, so unpredictable, and so stupidly fast that it's actually goddamn impressive. No, really, it's impressive that a game got released like this without any feedback or criticism from the QA team. She's god-awful to play and I've only just started and... Right, yeah, I should just stop sulking and suck it up. Already at the end of the first chapter, we've got to take on Iblis. Yeah, the final boss that the overall plot has been centered on.
Oh, right, I've never actually dissected the Sonic 2006 plot at all, have I? Well, draw up a seat and I'll fill you in. Are you comfortable? Good, let's begin. Okay, so there's this Final Fantasy Yiffa who wants blue hedgehog dick, right? Well, she gets kidnapped by a weird half-egg, half-man dude who changed his name from Robotnik to, get this, Eggman. Still with me? Good. Following so far? Fantastic. Right, so there's 3 half-hedgehog, half-human things who are in town to do something, well, barring one of them, and that's Silver. He looks at Sonic, the blue one of these half-hedgehog, half-human people, and calls him the Iblis Trigger, and tries to kill him because Shadow told him to, and look, it's a fucking mess, okay? It would take its own video for me to try and make any fucking sense of it. So just take it at face value and enjoy my shitty jokes, okay?
Speaking of Shadow, he shows up shortly after Silver knocks out Iblis and has a nice little edgy emo moment.
What's the point of all this? It'll never end.
Sir Edgelord here, real name Methalis, says the only way our 2 bumbling idiots can fix their world is to go back in time and casually commit a little bit of murder. Since there's no reason to question that logic, Blaze and Silver go through the wormhole to find Sonic, winding up in a Silver Jungle stage. It's not that great either. Platforming really isn't this game's strong suit, since it clearly wasn't properly adjusted to QA feedback and getting around is just irritating. There's a few turtles that kind of work. Oh, and naturally there's bugs. You know, it is this game after all. Honestly, it's not the worst it's thrown at me. Now it's on to Blaze though, and hold the fucking phone! This is the first Sonic stage, play by play! They'd have swapped out the blue blur for this bitch!
So not only is it a poorly written, poorly made glitch fest from hell, it's now outright beat by beat recycling stages. Like, I'm at a loss, dude. This is shit.
It even does the whale bit! It's so lazy! I cannot believe I'm ticking yet another game developments in here. Jesus Christ, Sega, what did you guys do? Why did you do it? Who did it? Did you seriously run out of ideas, or are you just snorting cocaine?
Oh boy, what's next? A cameo from one of the most annoying Sonic characters and a poorly tested physics puzzle, maybe?
Oh, it's Amy, and she sucks. She revolves around double jumping and a hammer to attack, yet somehow it's almost as poor to control as Blaze. That's nothing though compared to her irritating, one-dimensional character.
Now I've got you, Sonic!
Hey!
It's about time I finally caught you again! Hey! You're not Sonic!
I would say that at least this is short-lived, but Silver encounters what I can only describe as a quality assurance nightmare. At the start of the level, there's this little ball puzzle that requires you to knock these spheres into holes in a certain amount of moves, indicated by the number on the aforementioned balls. Simple enough, right? Well, it gets reprised at the end of the level. The idea again seems simple. Knock this single ball all the way down to the end of the obstacle course and into another hole. Should be easy, piece of cake, not gonna be a problem.
Well, you think it would be, but nobody tested this to see if it was doable in reasonable human limits.
Whoever designed this, I want you to know, nay, I need you to know, I hated this. It hated me. Why didn't you let QA do their job? Why did you let it slide? Why is this in the game? Who are you? Are you Satan? I'm pretty sure you're Satan. This is all just insanity. Finally, in a shot of sheer luck, I managed to pull off this feat of physics. And yes, I'm sick of this gimmick, thank you for asking. The next scene shoots us back to Soliana and a battle with Sonic in yet another recycled scene from the earlier Sonic chapters, only this time it's from Silver's perspective and incredibly easy. just pummel him with patio furniture and kablam, he drops harder than Black Tuesday. Before Silver can land the killing blow though, Princess Christian here gets kidnapped, and to make matters worse, Amy throws herself between Silver and Sonic. He bails, leaving a distraught Amy to confront Silver and... oh, for fuck's sake. For as bad as this game is, these emotional scenes are the absolute worst. The voice acting is something out of a 4-kid Saturday morning abortion, and the animation is just, well, it's pretty questionable at best. It kind of reminds me of YouTube shit posts made in Gmod, especially here where Silver is having a nice little emo sit by the water, debating internally if he can go through with murdering Sonic.
And yes, it's handled with about as much care and delicacy as a bullfight.
Look, I've got a lot to cover, so I'm going to flash forward again here to the encounter with Shadow the Hedgehog. The only bit worth salvaging from our time hop is a rematch of Silver against the Egg Genesis boss from Sonic's campaign, but it's just as bland with some bad camera angles, unlike the level shared with Shadow. Shadow, after roundhouse kicking Silver in the head, invites Gary Stew back in time to learn the truth. Bada bing, bada Chaos Emerald, Sonic Boom, and we're in the secret Soliana laboratories a decade before. This level revolves around some oddly good looking water effects and the silver balls. Some are objects to throw, but then there's these ones you have to walk and ride through to the end of an obstacle course littered with lasers. It's clearly another poorly tested level, but at least it's doable within human limits. The scene ends with Silver realizing that Sonic is not the Iblis trigger, but it is of course instead Elise.
If she cries, the world's end. That is literally the plot. If the furry fuck cries, it is Armageddon. Who wrote this? Was it just an RPG? Was it Chris Chan?
Princess Gift at DeviantArt.com.
I'm so close with this campaign. So close. I've got one last barrage to do, back in the present day timeline and through the valley. I would bitch, but at this point, honestly, I'm comfortably numb, to the point that this cutscene with Sonic throwing a stroppy fit before reversing time doesn't even bug me. Finally, we're back in the far future in a timeline that is still somehow broken, thrust deep into the Flame Core. For unexplained and likely contrived reasons, Iblis is somehow alive and it's not being questioned. So, after a short level, it's time now for the last boss.
Please note that I did not say final boss. Don't worry, we'll get to that today too.
It's mostly a rerun of the first encounter, and then it gets a little weird and wild. Iblis will charge, break the stage, and generally be a bit rude, but it's honestly not that hard. As he goes down, Silver tries to absorb the evil spirit, but cannot because he is not of royal descent. As it all looks bleak, Blaze steps in and, okay, what? She can absorb it? Is she Queen Cat? When was this ever a thing? Jesus fucking Christ, this here is plot convenience at its absolute worst.
Well, that certainly was an adventure. That said, it honestly wasn't as bad as Sonic and Shadow's campaigns. However, it was not an adequate preparation for what lies next. Bring on the final chapter. It's time.
Of course, this last story is far from a cakewalk, and it's got some more plot. Mephiles, free and about after the end of the Sonic campaign, makes a sudden appearance and, well, kills Sonic. No, really, he fucking murders Sonic in cold blood. This makes Elise cry and, okay, apparently instead of Iblis coming out and wrecking shit, the essence of time itself shatters and conveniently draws all the main characters across the timelines into one realm. But that's nothing. That's a fucking breeze compared to what happens next. Eggman waffles on about how they can use the Chaos Emeralds to bring Sonic back and stop Iblis, but now they're all spread among this shattered universe the characters now inhabit. It's up to everyone to get the emeralds in a marathon session while black holes tear everything apart.
I'm sorry, did I say marathon? Because I meant fucking endurance test!
It's so broken. It's so broken! Tails is a horrible start, but then you have to do Knuckles' horrible stage, and then the fucking robot stage, and Amy's stage, and Silver stage, and Shadow stage, and ah!
Is it okay if I scream in this video, or do you get the fucking point?
These black holes make it even worse than it needs to be. The usual platforming woes, such as overly hard long jumps, still plague this stretch, but it's made 1,000 times worse when you're being sucked into an instant death. This shit here will test your nerves, put hair on your chest, make you a real man, and make you regret the day you ever picked this goddamn game up. But power on, friend, and you'll be rewarded with... Okay, look, I can't even pretend that this is some kind of reward, okay? I can't even believe this is happening right now, but the furry gang arrange the emeralds around Sonic, and then Elise kisses Sonic!
Okay, up until now, this bestiality thing was a joke, okay? It was a fucking joke. Yet here it is, and it's fucking happening right in front of me. And Amy just stands there as this bitch moves in on her man. And why? Why? Was it just for the fucking DeviantArt shippers?
After you clean up your vomit, it's final boss time against the true form of Iblis. One last cryptic, stupid battle that'll have you guessing what to bloody do until you cave in, have a friend Google it, and then follow the strategy. Let Silver do his thing, then Shadow, then Sonic, then Shadow again, and oh yeah, the second form that Sonic is kind of useless for. Just be sure to tag between your hedgehogs before you run out of power rings, since that's the currency used here. With the final blow, Iblis is destroyed and the true spirit of Mephiles is revealed, and wait, hold up, these guys are the essence of time? And they just get blown out, literally erased from existence. And the universe does not collapse?
Paging Dr. Neil deGrasse Tyson. Have I got a fucking doozy for you?
And that's it. The timeline resets, but minus Iblis and Mephiles, so there's no Trigger, no Mephiles, no Silver. It means nothing. All my suffering has meant nothing.
This has to be the lowest point that Sonic hit in Sega's hands. This is astounding. Do I drink? Do I cry? Do I do both? What gets me is that this game is now 11 years old, and still it never received a patch for any of the problems. Like, this just makes me sad. When I was a kid, I just want to put in context, I had both a Mega Drive in my house and a Sega Master System. I grew up with the classic Sonic games. Is this what it's like to have your childhood die? Is nothing sacred? Is Sega over? Is Sonic over? How am I supposed to feel, and how am I supposed to What's that noise?